All right, so now we're going to get into purchasing and the nuances of purchasing. Okay, so what should be purchased? What is the best price to pay? How can a steady supply be assured? Those are questions that the purchasing agent lives and dies by. It's also an entire class, entire course in the hospitality program and in the culinary program. Actually, it's in the culinary program that it's an entire period of excuse me, course on how to do that. So I'm not going to cover the whole semester worth of material in just 5 slides. All right. So, but the thing about purchasing is doing it well, purchasing well. I say that all the time. Buying well is very, very important. So, what should be purchased? What is the best price to pay? And how can a steady supply be assured? The best price is not always the lowest price. Okay, a low price might be come with some quality issues and other things. So, let's go into this. Let's see what we got going on in these slides. All right, something's going on. All right, so what should be purchased? Product specifications. Okay, this is the thing about purchasing. You don't just buy whatever, right? It's like, okay, I need chicken. Okay, chicken. You go to the store and you go to the store as a home cook, and you walk up to the butcher and say, "I need chicken." Okay, what do you need? Do you need boneless skin and breast? Do you need skin bone in? Do you need a whole chicken? Do you need ground chicken? What do you need? All right. So the specification helps to standardize that this whoever's purchasing it. When we purchase chicken, we purchase it this way. Now we might purchase chicken in 2 or 3 different ways because we might have fried chicken, so we need 8 cut bone in. But we also might have grilled chicken sandwich, so we have boneless skinless chicken breasts that we buy, right? We might have something boneless, skinless breast that is more of a standalone entree, so we don't want those small two lobe breasts that you would buy and make for sandwiches. You want something with a little meat on it. All right. So there's many different ways. So your specification is going to tell the purchaser exactly what you need. And there's an entire process of creating specifications. But the bottom line is, what do we need? What does it look like? What are the quality standards? What is the size? What is the packaging? All that stuff should be on there. Why is the packaging important? There could be very many reasons why packaging is important, right? Because if it's packaged in liquid, that means the weight, there's going to be higher waste and stuff like that. Because if something is packed in liquid, the weight of it is with the liquid, and you're not using the liquid. Maybe not. All right. So there's many different reasons. All right, and many different things that you need to put on there. Each menu item or ingredient should have its own specification. So when I order breadcrumbs, what kind of breadcrumbs? What standard do I? Is it panko or is it something else? Is it by the 5 pound bag or is it by the little paper container that some people buy it? Um, if I use a ton of it every week, well, I definitely want by the 5 pound bag or the big large bag or whatever. All right, so those are all important things. All right, so on the purchasing, let's see. Here's some of the information on there. So the product name and specification number, the purchase pricing unit. All right. If I'm buying by pound, if I'm buying by case, if I'm buying by each, if I'm buying by jar, if I'm buying by a case of jars or whatever, right? All that stuff should be on there so I know what I'm getting. Standard or grade. Am I buying fancy? Am I buying whatever? Depending, it might be something other than meat. Meat is going to have USDA grades. Weight, range, and size. How much? All right. Uh, as a sushi chef, we used to buy fish, right? Size of salmon. Sometimes we would order by the pound. Sometimes that package would have 3 sides of salmon. Sometimes it would have 2 sides of salmon. Uh, Whatever it took to get to that weight. All right. Processing or packaging is it packaged in water? Is it this, that, and the other thing? Container size, frozen, fresh. That's all important. Container size. I spoke about that. Intended use, putting the intended use on a specification. If all other information is wrong, or there's somebody tries to manipulate that other information, saying I don't have this or that, they're trying to substitute on you, and they see the intended use. that should indicate what all the other things, right? If I'm saying that I'm buying um, beef for hamburger, well, then I know there should be ground beef, right? Uh, if I, that's a really silly example, but there's so many examples when I know what this is being used for, I can know what if it's a good fit or not fit or not a good fit. Okay, and any other information that's important that you feel is important, you can put on the specification. All right, what do we got here? So this is a specification. It's got pricing unit per pound, and what is it? It is for it says bacon. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the name of it is bacon slice. So per pound, grade is select number one, moderately thick slice, Oscar Mayer, item 240, 2040 or equal. So right now we know that Oscar Mayer 240 is exactly what we want. Are we married to Oscar Mayer? No, but we know that that model or that item number is exactly the way we want it. So if 240 is not there, we can buy it from another. You can substitute with another one. I don't care about Oscar Mayer. I just know that that is the perfect size. All right. Weight range 14 to 16 slices. Packaging is cryovac. Uh, Container size not to exceed 20 pounds. Intended use bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. That's important. If my intended use was soup, well, what do I know about soup? Am I putting full pieces of bacon into soup? No, I'm cutting it into a bâtonnet or something like that. So I know that having nice slices, however, nice even slices that will cook evenly is important for BLT. It's very important for BLT. I am a BLT connoisseur. I want my bacon to be perfect when I bite into bread, and then my teeth touch the lettuce, then the tomato, and then that bacon goes snap. Uh, it's got to be perfect. I'm passionate about BLTs. All right. So let's see. Other information: flat packs or oven-proof paper, never frozen. Flat pack on oven-proof paper. That's important because that speaks to a lot of the operations. If I buy something cryovac from a store, I'm cutting that open and I'm trying to lay. I have to lay each piece onto a sheet tray, sheet pan. If I buy it by case and it's on the flat pack and it's on the paper, I just pick up the entire sheet, put it or entire paper, put it on, put the second one on, put the third one on sideways. I've done this once or twice. That's all I need to do, right? Yield 80%, meaning that once we cook it, it's about 80% what the way it was prior to it. So if I know that I need so many pounds that's going to get ate, I need to factor into that 60% yield. All right. And we're going to talk about that in later chapters, I think. All right. Moving forward. All right. Purchasing beverages. Managers must determine the right amount of product and its packaging for operational needs. Wine is purchased by box or bottle. Spirits is usually purchased as 750 milliliters or 1 liter bottles. Beer is purchased by cans, bottles, or kegs. Again, if it's going on the bar by the tap, then I buy kegs, bottles, cans, that generally is a customer preference, but we need to know all that, right? If I order, if I'm an idiot purchaser and the bartender says, "Hey, I need Budweiser," and I say, "Okay, I got it for you," and then I'm an idiot and the bartender's a poor communicator, I order kegs of Budweiser. What he wanted was long necks, but he never told me he wanted long neck. Okay, or he or she, or whatever. All right. So on a purchase or a purchase order now, a purchase order is how we purchase. Okay. Now this is all very, very abridged because this is not a purchasing class, like I said. But the purchase order is very important. This is how we communicate to the people who we're ordering from what we want. And it also turns into an agreement. We put a purchase order and they bring it back to us, and this is the way it is. All right. So when it's on a purchase order, I won't say it's gospel, but we can now expect, as it's written and agreed to be received. All right. So we have a quoted price. So I go on the website and they say, okay, this beef is X amount. I order this amount per unit, and then a total amount of units should give me this amount of money. I send a purchase order in, and it comes back, and I think, oh, everything's good. But all of a sudden the price is 20% higher. All right. Now I have an issue. All right. So quantity ordered, receipt of all goods ordered. All right. I don't know why that's there. Okay. Any special instructions, conformance to product specifications, authorization, prepare vendor invoice for payment. All right. So it talks about the payment information. It's going to say right on the purchase order whether or not we're going to collect on delivery, or we have terms or whatever. Okay. Let's see. So that's a sample purchase order. Okay. So the purchase order is, when it's printed out like this, we have a list of items, what we're paying for, and the amount, right? It's a beautiful thing. So I can have, as a purchase order, I can give that, or as a purchaser, I can give that to my receiving people in small restaurants. I'm usually the same person, or sometimes the same person. So I can take that and say, okay, this is gospel. I have to check this with what I get to make sure that I get everything I ordered, right? And that's true. But there's a third document in there, and let's see if this is where we're going here in the slideshow. All right, let's go. Oh, I don't know why it's in there. Okay, there it is. All right, so I have that purchase order, right? Now, there's three things that need to be compared when I receive. The first is the purchase order, and then the second is the delivery invoice. Okay, we purchase it, everything's good. The day of the job, they're figuring everything out, they're loading up the truck, and then they say, uh-oh, I don't have this. So they don't put it on the delivery invoice. All right. They know that they're not going to deliver it. Now, they should be communicating with you, but that's besides the point. It's going to now differ from your purchase order. All right. So the invoice and the purchase order need to be reconciled. All right. So they come in, they say, here's the invoice. Oh, I didn't get this, or I did get this. All right. Okay. No, I'm good to go. So I know how I can adjust how I'm going to pay the bills. And then you walk away. No, because what did you not compare that to? What you actually received. So you have to reconcile all three all three items: purchase order to invoice to what's actually received. Because sometimes, especially when mistakes are made, intentionally or unintentionally, they do this after a mistake is made at the warehouse level. They're loading it up, and then poof, they drop a box of so whatever, and there's no more. They just go ahead and continue load. Hopefully, they won't notice that you're missing a case of olive oil or something like that. Or it could just be a mistake, right? Uh, anyway, you want to make sure that, yeah, the two pieces of paper say the exact same thing. They both say I'm supposed to get 4 cases of ranch dressing. But when I look, I only have 4 bottles of ranch dressing. Very common mistake. Okay. So you need to make sure you look at all that stuff. Okay. Also, when you're receiving, you make sure that you have a clean area and you have everything you need. You have scales, it's properly lit and properly ventilated, and then you have enough time to do this correctly. And there are more things on this slideshow, but for right now, I'm running out of time, and I don't think I warrants a whole nother video. So you can finish reading the chapter and look at the different things uh, from the slideshow, and you should be good to go. So the bottom line is you need to buy well, and to buy well, you need to what? You need to buy the right product from the right vendor at the right time at the right price. What am I missing? And the right amount. Okay. And all of these things that we talked about should help you do that. The biggest thing to take away from this is going to be your recipe conversions, your conversion factors, your popularity index. You're going to see popularity index a lot, or at least apply it a lot in this class. So those are the big takeaways. All right, guys, you'll have your regular homework and a discussion, and I will see you next week.